This is the Phylanice Nashe Experience podcast. Merry Christmas and welcome to the Phylanice Nashe Experience podcast, a new audio series of lighthearted and sometimes third eye opening conversations on a variety of topics from the African American perspective. I am your host, Phylanice Nashe. Welcome. So on this episode, we are wrapping up 2020 with the Phylanice Nashe Experience team. Specifically, this is going to be our year in review episode. So today, my guests make up the Phylanice Nashe Experience squad. First up is audio engineer Carlos Jarrett.
Going on.
Hey. Next is my video engineer and manager of the Phylanice Nashe Experience podcast YouTube channel, Dezmond Perry.
Okay. Little dance right there. That's all you get.
Okay. And last but not least, marketing extraordinaire and graphic designer, Linwood Hawkins.
So much for having me.
Woo! Welcome, y'all. Welcome. So this is the last episode of the Phylanice Nashe Experience podcast for 2020. And we wanted to just kind of chop it up a little bit about 2020 as a year in review, right? Personally, professionally, talk about the podcast and just whatever comes to mind. And then we want to wrap it up and talking about what we are looking forward to for 2021. So I'll first start off with, how was everyone's Thanksgiving holiday, moving into the Christmas? How was everyone's holiday? Carlos, how was your holiday?
It was cool. Didn't do much. Like I said, sit around and grilled. Very non-traditional. We don't do a whole lot of, dressing and turkey and all that. I mean, that's cool, but we just do the non-traditional stuff all the time. So
well, this was a non-traditional year.
For sure.
Right. Linwood, how about you? Holidays, how was that for you?
Same here. Pretty non-traditional in a lot of different ways, just based off of the year itself. Visit family over Thanksgiving. Now, you're shopping, doing more online shopping than I've ever done in my life. I believe I just built a wing on Jeff Bezos' house or something. I don't know.
Amazon got all your money?
Oh, my goodness. But hey, different times, so we're gonna get through it.
Yep. Des, how about you? How was holiday?
No, same thing. Just being able to get together with family is, I guess, the most important time. This is, a lot different than, what it is previously. So, not being able to get with the entire family as usual, but, still be able to get with the ones that, that you either live with, or maybe like a small gathering with a few families is always good. I did have this conversation though a couple of weeks ago, because hearing Carlos talk about, being non-traditional when it comes to the food. I think Thanksgiving food is overrated.
What?
Unpopular opinion. I think it's overrated.
Wait. So let me ask you this question.
I'm talking about the turkey, the dressing. I don't cook. I do not cook. But sometimes I just be like, sometimes it's just too much. It's just too much. I just be like, I don't want all of that.
The mac and cheese, the potato salad, like you could go with. So what did you eat?
I can go with that. Oh goodness! Don't judge me, okay? Do not judge me. I don't want none of you all to judge me, okay?
I'm all ears.
Keep in mind, I traveled on Thanksgiving Day. Okay. So we got to Florida on Thanksgiving Day and we ate McDonald's.
I knew you were gonna say that. Okay, so what did you eat? What'd you eat?
I had a quarter pounder.
Oh, let me say this.
And that was all I needed.
We're in a year in review, and I would have to say McDonald's stepped their game up on those quarter pounders this year. I don't know what it is, but their quarter pounders are off the chain.
That's all I needed.
I have not had McDonald's in I don't know how many years.
You know, and I need to be like you, Carlos. I need to leave that McDonald's alone, but I couldn't. It was right next to the hotel. I said, babe, you want McDonald's? Yes. And we ate
Easy
McDonald's.
peasy. Easy peasy. Now, I will say this. The overall quality of the food is not what I recall when I was a kid. Like I remember the fries just being like, oh, so much. Every once in a while, I get a Jones, and for going to McDonald's, I run up there, I get either a quarter pounder or a Big Mac, I shove it in, and then I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. Like
every time, it never fails. Like, why did I eat that? Oh goodness!
But the quarter pounder this year, it's supposed to be made fresh when you order it, so it's supposed to be hot, and that is great. Everything else, not so much.
High school ruined it for me.
What did?
High school. So we did a project in economics class in high school, and we took a McDonald's hamburger at the beginning of the school. Put it on the shelf. And kept it there to the last day of school. And the only thing that was wrong with it was the bread was molded. The meat was still in perfect condition. So we were just like, okay, what's in that? What are the preservatives?
You know what? And it's like I heard that before.
Yeah.
I was gonna eat that McDonald's. I'm sorry. I need to leave it alone. I'm working on me. I'm working on a better me. And leaving McDonald's alone is gonna be at the top of my list, but I haven't got there yet.
So is that going to be a 2021, thing that you'll wean yourself off of the McDonald's?
That's at the top of every year, and I fail every year. But yes, I have to keep trying. I can't give up. I can't give up on me. So yes, 2021, I'm back at it, leaving McDonald's alone.
Yeah.
I'll check in with you.
I'll hold them to
see
it.
how that's going. I'll see you at the McDonald's like.
Like
I didn't see you there.
You don't see me.
No. But I will ask this question. I've asked, and we kind of talked about this on the prior episode, but since we're talking year in review, pandemic has been like topic number one for everything. You can't escape it. It's affected how we travel, how we eat, because I'm going to tell you, Instacart had all my money for 2020. I love that delivery service. And I tip those individuals who purchased those groceries well, because God bless them. God bless them. But the pandemic, like personally, it's brought my family closer together. Carlos, how has that affected you personally and professionally for 2020?
Let's see which one. I'll start with personal. Personally, so last year we lost our sister, or my wife's sister. So my sister-in-law, and we actually have three additional children in the house. So we've got 6 kids. So personally, I think it's brought us all closer. Just in the blended family and learning one another, and all of those things, the homeschooling, and all of those things, the learning habits, the habits, the little quirks and, things of that nature that kids go through. And, I think it's brought me and my wife even closer, because we're having to really, really get into parenting, deeper than we probably ever have. So that's, on the personal side, that's pretty much 2020 in a nutshell, because we haven't been anywhere, since March. Well, we did take a small vacation, but that's another story. And then professionally, I think I've probably been busier than I've ever been in my life. Like between churches calling, hey, can you help with that live stream? Hey, can you mix our pre-record? Hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do that? Hey, we want to install this. Hey, so I think I've been busier professionally, and that's not even just including churches, that's artists as well, because everybody's creating from home. And so I'm getting call after call after call to work on someone's music, and it's been a blessing, to be honest with you, because the work has been just unbelievable, not overwhelming, but just unbelievable how much work is coming in. And it's giving me more of an opportunity to polish my skills, and really push myself out there. So I'm hoping that 2021 is more of the same, if not, better.
Amen. That's like you said, it's been a blessing.
Blessing.
Blessing. So Linwood, how about you? How's the pandemic been for you personally and professionally?
Well, let's start with professionally. Much like a lot of other entrepreneurs, it kind of took us by surprise. This time last year, my mindset was focused on growth for 2020. That was the thing. What new offerings, because I had begun with the web development, bringing that back in, and that was going to be the push for 2020. Well, here comes COVID, and people start shutting down. People start losing jobs, going out of business, and I had to shift that thinking slightly. Because my mindset then went from, okay, still growth, but where exactly are the opportunities? Because there are some. Whenever there's some upheaval of any sort, there's some opportunities there. So that's where the mindset has been. Going through this year and trying to manage the effects of COVID, not only on business but personally as well. Personally, um, it has brought me and my wife much closer than, because by us both being independent professionals, most of the time we're out meeting, or if I'm in producing pieces, she's gone. Well, now all of her meetings are Zoom, it's here, and we're bumping into each other all the time, and so. But it's good, and it's been great, and we've been blessed to have really gotten a whole lot closer. And so, would it have happened without COVID? I would like to think that it would have or could have, but you know, the Bible tells us to give thanks for all things, and so this is one of those reasons that you can look at COVID and say, "Hey, it's bad, but we're blessed."
Yeah. Amen. Des.
Yeah, I have to agree with Linwood that personally, it's kind of the same. Me and my wife were both on the go all the time, like all the time. And the fact that, it came to an immediate halt and now we're together all the time, and it goes from, me having to leave every so often, she's had to leave. But being able to connect with each other and being able to, I guess, grow closer to each other and like understand our own passions. Like I think she's learning me a lot more, and I'm learning her just as much. We just celebrated our 3rd year anniversary, so we're still kind of new. We still, learning each other.
Yeah.
Every so there's a lot that I'm still learning, trying to figure out. How to be a better husband every day. And so I think that having the opportunity to be together all the time has been a major plus. But professionally, I mean, to be honest, at the top of the year, I was looking forward to 2020 being my greatest year thus far. It was going to be, and I was kind of honestly a little nervous about it going into my April. I remember my April being, I was a little, I had some anxiety about going into April because it was going to be an overwhelming month for me. I think I was booked every single weekend. And I just had a lot of things already scheduled. Like my calendar was crazy. And then, once COVID happened, everything immediately went away. And so it was like a relief because now that anxious feeling of going into April kind of went away. But then it's also another type of anxiety that's hitting me now because now it's like, okay, I'm no longer working. I'm no longer getting paid like I was expecting to. I just signed my 2nd major contract at the top of the year that just stopped. I was like, oh man, like when you get that check and you already like planning what you're gonna do with it. Man, talk about some hurt. Oh man. Anyways, but it turned out to be a blessing because even though I didn't work as much over this past summer, I knew that I had to figure out how to kind of pivot my business into doing some things that I could still provide. And so one thing was being able to tap into this whole virtual entertainment, this virtual learning type of situation. So, I'm able to still produce podcasts like this one through Zoom and be able to create the content from home. Another thing that I've really been tapping into, one thing, me and my dad have been working real closely with Fisk University on their virtual events. Like we did their coronation, we did their convocation, and we just did their graduation all virtually. Like we streamed them on their YouTube channel, and being able to like learn new skills, like being able to figure out this live stream. And I don't have everything totally figured out just yet, but I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly figuring out how to be better. And, and I think that if COVID didn't happen, I wouldn't have learned these new skills to be able to provide these services for people. So, it definitely was a blessing to be able to, kind of tap into some other skill sets for myself to be able to continue to provide. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I can say for me and my family, it brought us closer together. It brought my husband and I closer together. The kids, our children are 17, 15, and 13. And they're celebrating their birthdays November, December. So they're going to be 15, 17, and 14, 16, and 18. And, they want to go play on the Xbox. My husband and I, like I said, I think in one of the previous episodes, I had made the decision to retire from the 9-to-5 and be at home. I love being at home. But when COVID hit, it just put me into I had to put my professor hat back on. I taught college for some years. And so I just, fell right into being, the kids' teachers and all of that. So I found a lot of enjoyment and fulfillment in that. But then my husband and I, we moved into a whole nother level of our relationship where, we were able to slow down because we both kind of retired at the top of the year. But you guys are I'm sure you experience this being entrepreneurs. You never retire. You always are dibble dabbling in something.
Oh, yeah.
And so we had a few months where it was just that. It was just us, hanging out. And then when COVID came, my husband started another business, which is called Recover Health, which is a COVID testing company. It's a concierge COVID testing company for personal and business needs. So first clients out of the box were restaurants and hospitality companies that were trying to reopen. And so he and his business partner, started this company and have employees. And so he got right back into the deal, and I'm still sipping on my hot chocolate. You know what I mean? But we have our morning time where we talk, and then, he does his thing. And then when he needs my help on some certain things, like technically, like software, I'll come in and help with that. And I find enjoyment with that for a little bit, but then I like to, jump back into being mom full time. And then the podcast has been a great outlet for me because, it's something that I do as an individual, and it keeps me fresh. So I would have to say 2020 has been, personally, because I'm out of the professional business, has been a blessing to our family. You might ask the kids something, they may say something.
Right, I met your kids. And
they are running up my bandwidth from Xfinity. We just went over I got a text, you're at 100%. We're going to add on. And I'm like, what the heck? Because all summer, even at the start of the school year, I'm like, I didn't even know I had a limit. It's this dang on Xbox that's
exactly.
I don't know.
Phylanice, how did COVID affect the podcast? With it beginning this year, how did it
Yeah, good question. So we had to pivot because we started out in person.
Right.
First two episodes with Alicia Schultz James were recorded in person. Carlos was there. Dezmond was there. I absolutely loved it. I had a studio downtown because one of the businesses that I own is a content and education content company. We do online learning, learning management systems. And so we, in 2019, was helping people create content. So we were videotaping them, making, online courses. So I had a studio. It was in person. I loved it. And then when COVID hit, I was like, okay, well, let's try this Zoom thing, and it has been a blessing. Like Carlos has like set up everything. Dezmond has set up everything to match. And it was a learning process because, in the beginning, Zoom was like, okay, now here's how you have a mass meeting with a bunch of people so that everyone's mic is not cut off. Like there were certain things you had to put in, settings you had to put in the background, some configurations you had to put in the background. Dezmond, first of all, I couldn't see what Dezmond was doing on his side.
Mm-hmm.
And then he showed me how he puts the templates together. So we were learning new techniques on how to videotape and make yourself look cute on the the visual side, while it looks like this to us, like 4 boxes on a screen, but on the other side it looks different. Carlos was putting things together, and then you have the connectivity issues that we just saw with the interview that we just did with Alfonso. So that was a huge thing for me because I'm a perfectionist. I want everything to be perfect, right? And so the first time we started having connectivity issues, I'm like, oh man. But then if you watch any news story, they all have connectivity. Like nothing is coming through 100%. So for the podcast, we just did what everyone else did. We moved to Zoom, figured it out, how we make it look good, that we can't be in front of the camera, and how we can make it sound good. And it was a blessing. I think I also went out and got myself a microphone. So it was fun, trying to learn these new techniques, but you just have to learn. And there are guides, and, they talk about, if you're in the podcasting community, they talk about things you can do to help improve, doing these things. But it was not a stumbling block. I did not feel like, dang, I can't do this any longer, even though my preference was in person. You just kind of roll with the flow. Technology was the saving grace for the pandemic, I believe.
For sure.
I think people learned to make different software packages to address this need and that need. And Zoom, I don't care about, I don't really prefer Teams. I don't prefer it. Zoom has been the thing. I used it corporately, and falling into it with the podcast was kind of natural.
Yeah. That's one of those things that working with Marcus Whitney prior, he was really big. I actually worked with him all 2019, so I sat in on a lot of interviews and a lot of different panels that he was a part of. But he talked a lot about the internet being the future and being how everybody in business needs to tap in and be able to manage what they're doing through. And this is pre-pandemic, pre-COVID. And then you see the COVID happen, and it's like that is the saving grace. That's what can continue to let you thrive, is through the internet and using technology to continue to push your business forward. So
Yep, totally agree. So what does 2021 look like? Normally, this is around the time where businesses are doing their business planning for 2021. What worked this year? What are you going to keep? What are you going to stop? What are you going to start for 2021? So Linwood, what's 2021 look like for you and your company?
Well, again, like I said, this time last year, was integrating web development back into my service offering. So I'm just going to continue to push that and grow that side of my business there. Just continue to build that clientele up. I think that's going to be the future of, or the bulk of the future of what we offer, the web development at that point. Personally, I am looking to get rid of meat out of my diet.
Okay.
Like McDonald's. Meat. There we go.
Yeah, right. My wife and I gave it a shot earlier this year, and after watching a documentary, and we just
which documentary was it?
It was called Game Changers.
Game Changers. I knew that.
Yeah.
Seen that one.
Yeah, and I love documentaries. I just love them. And so I've seen a lot of them. I typically just roll my eyes, because I'm a meat dude. I mean, I literally am. I was one of these cats that if there's not meat on the plate, then it's not a meal. But after I watched Game Changers, I was like, okay, wait a minute. Let's at least, take a look at the situation. So we jumped in with both feet, without a plan, just jumped in. And a week in, and we were like, no, this is not going to work. Every night we were like, what are we going to eat? It was overwhelming. But this fourth quarter, we just kind of letting the idea roll around in our minds. And I've literally just started, when I make a plate, especially over Thanksgiving, I'm proud of myself. I didn't get as much turkey as I wanted to. Build that space with other items. So just starting to get my brain ready because January 1, I plan on being meat free. Yeah, we'll go from there.
Well, I'll have you back on the show to talk about your journey.
Huh?
Yeah, you'll be on the show to talk about your journey.
Girl, I want to hear more details.
I do too, because I want to know like what the changes are, from a person who's just starting out. Because you talk to people all the time, like I've been vegan this many years, vegetarian this many years, and they have it down pat. Like I know we've started trying to eat more healthy, including vegetables and kale and all of that stuff, and it's not the same.
It's not the same.
And you're hungry a lot.
Right, I'm still hungry.
But everything is up here. It
is. So we'll have to have an episode where we talk about veganism and what that looks like. See, we're planning 2021 right here.
Yeah. All right. Mm-hmm. I like it.
Hey, Carlos, so what's 2021 look like for you professionally?
2021 professionally. I've been looking at the vision board, kind of see where I am. I've been just trying to figure out what's next, honestly. But probably expounding more on where I am now. I did do a lot of investing in myself over the most of 2020 and upgrading things and, getting better equipment and, just diving in deeper into what I do. And so, I was looking for that Grammy, but I didn't make the ballot this year, which is fine. I do have one nomination, but, I did.
Like right now, currently?
Nah, this was what year was that? 2016.
Ooh, so I got to add that to the
right.
Grammy
nominated.
Right.
The thing. Hold on.
Should have been in his intro.
I know, right? Grammy nominated.
Can you see it?
What is that?
It's
your virtual background is taking it out.
Yeah.
You got to put it right in front of your chest. Put it right in front of you.
There you go.
Look at that.
Well,
Carlos. There it is. Man.
But yeah, that's I do have the one nomination, and it's a blessing. I didn't see it coming, but because that's not why we do what we do. We don't do it for acting. We do it because we want to eat. So so I was hoping that I'd be on the ballot somewhere this year, but didn't make it. I had a few things that were potential, but didn't make the final ballot. So, but it's fine. But expounding more on what I do is probably what's going to be 2021 for me.
And congratulations, that's awesome. Desi Dez, 2021.
Did we lose him?
Okay, am I back?
You're back.
I froze for a minute. Okay, but for myself, 2021, and that's actually what I've been working on a lot lately right now. I think it's really tapping into this live streaming service. Especially having that connection with Fitz that supported me for the past couple of months. I mean, I know there's going to be more events that they're going to want to really put on going into the 2021 season. It also led to opportunity. I think the first week of January, I'll be doing some stuff with Meharry as far as their virtual learning as well. Be doing some things that's already, kind of filling up my calendar for January. So I'm really just trying to tap into this new skill set and these new services that I've learned, as well as still applying some of the things that I've always known, doing videography, photography. I've also done a couple of things as far as like updating my equipment, bought some new equipment, a new camera, new laptop, and just ready to just tackle on, whatever kind of comes my way, continue to do great work. And I know, those opportunities will continue to come my way. So yeah, just preparing.
Yeah. Good. Well, we'll be looking forward to all of that. And as far as myself and the podcast, I definitely dropping season 2. So look forward to that. Dropping a book in 2021 dealing with entrepreneurship and the preservation of that marriage between the entrepreneur and their spouse. And just prayerful and hopeful that we can return to some kind of normalcy with COVID. I want to see you guys. I'd like to get back to being in the studio and, getting that one-on-one interaction. But, I want to, so we got less than a minute. So what I'd like to do is just everybody drop their social media handles. So Des, I'll start with you.
Y'all can follow me on Instagram at primetime.dante, Dante. Hit your boy up.
There you go. Linwood, where can we find you on social media?
Check out lhjbrandstrategies.com. That's lhjbrandstrategies.com, and you'll find all the social links there. It's LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram as well.
Perfect. Los.
Malyla Music, Malyla music.com, and my social links are there as well.
So I want to thank all of you for being on the last episode for 2020, season 1 of Phylanice Nashe Experience. Thank you. I want to encourage all of my listeners to hit up Carlos, Linwood, and Dezmond. Follow what they do. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn. Phylanice Nashe. I'm going to ask you to subscribe, rate, and comment on the podcast. You can find it at phylanicenasheexperience.com. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Phylanice Nashe Experience podcast channel. We are international. We're looking for 1,000 downloads for 2020. So get on there and subscribe to the podcast. And I just want to encourage, all of my listeners to stay safe, remain vigilant during this holiday season, and then we will see you on the other side, 2021.